Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're here with another exciting episode for you guys. Episode 56.
56. I should write that down.
You should.
Yeah. We can't keep track otherwise.
Yeah.
We played board games.
We did play board games.
But before that, obviously,
Murder.
I heard somebody got hit with a crossbow.
So I took a crossbow and I just beat him to death with the butt of the crossbow.
Yep.
Not possible. So before, I got home late from work and I was like, what can I do after I get show prep stuff done? I was like, I could murder some people. And so I dropped in Severny. It's the north central part of the murder island.
A favorite of our group.
The favored area. Found a pistol, found a crossbow. And I couldn't find anything else. I knew 3 other people had dropped in there. And I was like, well, I can't go all the way on this match, so I may as well just try and murder. Went into a building, second floor. Guy came into the building. I heard him opening doors and stuff, and then decided not to come into the room I was in. And I was like, I can kill that man with a crossbow. He didn't come in there. Very disappointed. He left. I kind of followed him. I saw he ran into a building kind of across the way. I had a 4X scope for my crossbow. Took a shot at him, missed. And little did I know he could prone and go upstairs, so I missed him going up the stairs, and then he got into another window, started shooting me, hit me a couple times, and I was like, a stupid head's sitting right there. Bunk. Shot him right in the mouth. Crossbow totally silent, so no one knew that I had killed someone. Went over to get to loot his body, found a scar. It was very nice. Better than a crossbow. Still using the crossbow, however.
Did you have a quiver for it?
I did not.
Okay.
So the reload time was 10 seconds per arrow.
It's
Bolt.
Yeah.
Bolt, I'm sorry.
He doesn't want to offend any
yes.
arrow
Crossbow enthusiasts.
Yes.
A car pulls up from the building I was just in, and I was like, and then he took the long way around. I was like, if he goes in that door, I just have to aim at the door, and that dude's totally dead. Dunk. Shot him right in the back. Killed another man with a crossbow. That was my 4th overall crossbow kill with the Murder Island.
The only time I've had a crossbow and was capable of killing somebody, they ran across a room, and I went thunk, and it missed. And then he turned around and shot me with a shotgun. I was like, I deserve that.
No, yeah,
I deserve that.
You have one shot.
You do.
Both of my shots, however, were very nice. I have screenshots of those. I'm sure I'll post those.
Nice.
Especially the guy, then he slumped over against the banister, so he's sitting upright with an arrow in his mouth. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll post.
And it was single, so every headshots.
Yeah, it was
one shot, one kill.
Yep, singles. Mm-hmm. Well, the crossbow will not always kill.
Oh, okay.
But maybe when you shoot someone in the mouth, they're definitely dead.
Yep.
Apparently when you shoot someone in the back.
I mean, he paralyzed him, and there's nothing the guy could do.
He may not have been wearing a vest or something, but I killed 2 men with crossbows, and then was like, time to record a podcast. So I'm coming down from a case of the murders.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got the Murder Island shirt?
I got the Murder Island shirt. Yes.
I'm still waiting on mine.
Mm-hmm. In my mailbox was the Murder Island shirt and a copy of Tiny Epic Quest.
Kickstarter edition.
Yeah, deluxe edition.
Indeed.
Yeah. Zach will hopefully get his...
Tomorrow,
hopefully. His copy of the game is hopefully the shirt, and I mean, I'm sure he hopes he gets it.
Yes.
None of the rest of us.
Yeah, the fact that Jeff walked in with both of those, because we ordered them around the same time, I was like, God damn it, Jeff.
We opened it up. Tiny Epic Quest. Totally not Zelda top to bottom.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
No.
The thing was packed to the brim. I can't imagine them fitting anything else in there.
Mm-hmm. I can barely imagine trying to repack that box.
Yeah.
Which Zach did for me.
I did, yes. Only because I know I want to play it on Wednesday, and if I don't get my copy for whatever reason, I want to be like, Jeff, it's already organized. We just pull it out and let's play. I don't have to have him be like, I don't know what to do with all these things. The very whiny voice that Jeff loves to use.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, the most whiny.
Jeff is the whiniest of the podcast, for sure.
Oh, yes. Everything.
It's all the murder. Murder makes you whiny.
I just whine about wanting to murder more.
Yeah.
Now.
Murder.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about murdering those people with crossbows now.
Yeah.
So we mentioned at the start of this episode that we did in fact play some board games this week. We got back to our board gaming ways after about a week off there. So let's start with Jeff. What'd you play?
I played Drink the Beer.
Yeah, beer. We should talk about beer.
Yes.
I forgot to talk about beer because I just went back to my old normal, boring ways.
As you are wont to do.
Yes. I picked up a 6-pack of the Eddie Line Cranky Acre IPA because, quite frankly, $10.49 for a 6-pack of 16-ounce pints is damn near unbeatable in this state. So I drink a lot of Cranky Acre.
Especially your hoppy water that you love.
Yeah.
Hoppy water.
Jeff and I went to Molly's, which is a local,
Massive liquor store.
yeah,
Huge.
Mom and pop,
Mom and pop, Costco sized.
pretty much. And I was
Liquor
like,
warehouse.
and I was like, Jeff was like, Jeff, do you want any beer? And you're like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, let's get something nice and light and summery.
Summary.
And so I decided to get us Dragon's Milk, which is an Imperial bourbon barrel aged stout.
From New Holland Brewing,
Yeah, it's 11%,
at least.
Yeah,
and it is
substantial.
quite tasty.
And New Holland
good.
Brewing is from just a little bit south of Grand Rapids in Michigan.
Okay.
I've been to the actual brewery. It's fantastic. They make a lot of really good beer. Their Farmhouse Hatter is one of my favorite Belgians in the States.
I would want to say possibly Holland, Michigan.
Yes,
Yeah.
thus New Holland Brewing.
It said it on the label, so.
Yeah, I couldn't remember for sure. I thought it was Holland.
Correct.
Gotcha.
All of those tiny, small Michigan towns blend together 5 years removed from living in Michigan. Mm-hmm. So
Much like Illinois.
correct. But yeah, so that's what we're drinking. Mm-hmm. What were we playing?
So the first thing I played last week was First Martians.
Yep, first play of the first edition of First Martians.
Lots of firsts there.
Yes.
He even got his first.
He did.
Similar to Zach, Jeff beat me to getting First Martians, which at least Zach lives in a different part of town. Jeff and I live in the same neighborhood.
Yep.
And it took 2 days for you?
It took an extra 2 days for it to get to me. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I just pre-ordered earlier. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to game night and you guys were already kind of into a game, so I wouldn't have been able to play with you anyway because work stuff. But how was it?
Well, we started early. We started at 4 at game night. It was it wasn't very busy, so we were able to get everything set up and get the app going and kind of do the first time setup before our fourth Andrew, our friend, showed up to play. From while he ditched work, we were like, "Do you want to play First Martians?" He's like, "I'll be there in 45 minutes."
And we were looking for a fourth, and we're like, perfect.
Yep. It's a lot like Robinson Crusoe.
We played the intro mission. Mm-hmm. It's like Robinson, but with a lot more stuff that you have to keep track
A
of.
lot more stuff. There's all the facilities, and each facility has parts and spare parts, and you need to make sure that they're functional.
In order to actually use them. And
Or they make malfunctions happen, which are like disaster cards.
and you can repair them, but you can also just swap out components. So you can be like, we don't need this CPU, so let's go switch it so we can make this part work again, and we'll just have that other one not work.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on what actions you need to do, though. A lot of what really matters in the starter scenario, we played on easy because it's mostly app-based for difficulty-wise and the adventure deck / events that you get every turn. I thought the coolest part was you can get an event that's pretty basic and be like, oh, you get -1 on your malfunction track for this system block. And later on, the flavor text on it is solar panels are dusty. And then maybe a turn or two later, and then the obvious happens, and then later you'll get less power, or you'll have to drain power from certain units, or things start breaking. I thought that was the coolest part.
Yeah. And I don't know. We'd have to play more of it to see if those same sort of things come up. But a lot of them felt thematic to what was happening at the time, because we just kept having power issues, and all these events kept being power issue ones, and we're like, God damn it.
Yep.
Because we plugged in this new thing, and then it was just you had a electricity malfunction because something wasn't plugged in correctly.
Yep. We're like, well, that's appropriate.
Yeah. And it shredded a bunch of our electronics, and we were just like, God damn it. Because also, we were a lot closer to failing because Jeff did not signify to us the importance of certain things.
After the setup.
Yes.
I did say them.
But that was you were just reading a list. And you're like, I want to build this and this, and that's where we're just like, oh, well, if all we have to do is on the list, it just says build them. If that's all we have to have is build them, we don't have to worry about it for right now. And then 4 turns later, it's like, no, we need this so we can actually get these other things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jeff, why the fuck didn't you say anything earlier?
I did. Clearly, I was the only one that knew the significance.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're supposed to build like an extra solar panel, an extra oxygenator,
An extra
farm, and then you're supposed to get the farm up and running. So that it's a pretty good learning scenario overall. I can only imagine how hellish this game can get, much like Crusoe.
But also like Crusoe, at least the first edition, that rule book,
not good.
It is rough.
We were fiddling with that rule book for probably the majority of the time that we.
It took us like 4 hours to play. I'm pretty sure.
Oh God!
If just from looking up rules and stuff, it would have been like 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in there that's like like the different blocks, the malfunction box. It's like, well, how do we? They're red cubes. How do we repair them? And then like we had to search the FAQ that's in the app, and it was like, oh, those can't be repaired. That's actually just for the campaign game.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Yeah, and it's a little annoying that it. You remember in Robinson Crusoe, it actually had the numbers for the order that you do, like the board and stuff like that. It's not on there for whatever reason.
Oh. I guess they assume the app takes care of it.
No, it just says in the book. It's just like do your actions, and then the book and it lists the different orders that you do them. And technically, there's a specific order, but when you're setting up the game, if you don't realize that, you can put them in the different ways because it's supposed to go from like left to right on 2 rows.
And there's little arrows at the top of the icons that sort of show which direction you're supposed to go. But if you don't put them in the right order, that can be a little weird. But
yeah.
I mean, that's just setting up the game correctly.
Yeah, it definitely felt like that rule book was designed for people that knew how to play the game.
Yeah.
We didn't get much wrong.
No.
We had one event that was like -3 to build, and we didn't realize that you don't move the whole stack of -3. You just move one at a time. So it's like -1 for 3 turns instead of -3 for 1 turn.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay,
Yes.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's because it basically made it impossible to build for 1 turn. And we got it so late in the game, we were like, oh, we are totally screwed.
And we spent basically half our entire force.
Like everyone, like a stack of 5 because we needed to get something done.
Yeah.
But -1 to that build action, not as brutal as a penalty.
Yeah, but it takes a lot more work, like a lot more of those worker pawns to do anything in that game, especially exploring.
Like everything's a -1.
Yeah.
Ew.
Even things that you might explore might have additional minuses, even though it's already explored.
Because you have to like go through mountains and stuff. And it makes sense because, it's another planet. It should be hard to go moving outside of your hub area.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of little fiddly rules, like what counts as the hub? Is it all of these blocks? Is that the hub?
Yeah.
Because there was an objective, like we had to have 6 or less broken things to complete the mission, as well as
and it was
all
like
of the different objectives.
And that's when we went to the malfunction box. We're like, does this count as one of those broken things or not? Because it's using red, which
Yeah.
indicates broken, but
It's like the block broken, but we
Yeah.
can't repair those. So that means we'd have to have only 3 red cubes on the whole board, which would be impossible
yeah.
because you don't get enough spare parts.
Yeah. But yeah, it was I definitely would play more, but it was the same sort of thing like the first couple games of Robinson Crusoe where you're like, what is going on? At the very least, because we played Crusoe, we were like, okay, we have 2 options for this. This one fucks us over more. It's probably going to be that one.
That's why I went with the different blocks that had the malfunctions. I was like, well, clearly those count because that's the one that fucks us over more.
Yeah. And I was like, no, it's too hard otherwise.
Yeah.
If you can't repair them, then they wouldn't count towards that.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to actually playing
the app worked super well.
Yeah.
We only had one bug, which was there was an event that it was kind of like an event that happened later because of an earlier event, but the earlier event did not tell us to do any of the things that this follow-up event was doing.
It was like, remove one of these X icons.
It's
and we're
like, well,
we didn't put any out.
Yeah. There was like a broken rover token, but not an X token, so we just skipped it.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
but at that point, we were going to explore anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not like that one, at least, wasn't like Crusoe where you want to explore almost everything. It was just like, oh, we got to do a couple here, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the app and like it's the theme that happens from all the different events that carry over is super cool.
Yeah. And they mention the players, like the characters that you're playing, but it doesn't seem like those actually matter in that regard.
Yeah, you had like personality cards that you could use that were like, yeah, you've been divorced or you've been never married and you have like an extramarital kid, but none of that ever came up at any point.
Yeah, it might in the campaign, because then there's also extra skill cards that you can use that you earn those in the campaign, but you just get them in a regular mission. So
yeah, and there's the 2 5-mission campaigns. There's a solo version, and then the 6 different scenarios that come out of the box.
Yeah.
Looking forward to playing more in maybe a quieter environment.
Yes.
Because by the time we were finishing up, like game night was an hour and a half in, and we're like, we got to get this fucking done.
Yep.
Distractions were happening. Like, I'm new. Please introduce me to all of your friends.
And
I was like,
where's Adrian? Adrian, talk to him. Okay, we're back to the game.
Yeah, I had so many people be like, come up to me like, wait, are you Adrian? Like, yeah. Oh, some people told me to come talk to you. I'm new. It's like,
we were right by the front door, so everyone kept coming up to us.
And
like,
we had a game that took over the entire table, so they're like, well, they're probably here for game night.
Yes. Regarding your issues like with the rule books and stuff, like, I mean, this was a game where within like the first 48 hours of people starting to widely get it, the FAQ jumped to like 3 or 4 pages on BGG. It's at 6 right now, 10 days after it was created. Ignacy's gotten a little bit of heat for once again having a not ideal rule book.
I thought he learned from the second edition, but whatever. The second edition of Crusoe.
Yeah.
But
the game's still good.
It was still good. It just it'll be better. It'll be a better game when we know how to play like through and through.
Yep.
Yes, which I mean that was the case for Robinson Crusoe.
Exactly.
It got harder the more we knew, but it got better.
More enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah. So
more fulfilling.
Components were nice.
Yeah.
In the game.
I had the Kickstarter edition, so it had like inked minis and those clear plastic.
Not Kickstarter, pre-order.
Pre-order. The not Kickstarter pre-order.
Correct.
Yeah, not at all Kickstarter. Yeah.
An actual pre-order.
Yes, the 3,000. If you pre-order this, there's a bunch of extra things you get version.
Yeah. Which, quick aside, so there was a game, something about like Trash Pandas or something, some stupid little card game about raccoons. It got kicked off of Kickstarter because they had already started production before they launched their Kickstarter.
Ooh.
And Kickstarter was like, nope, can't do that. Like, this isn't for projects that are already like completed. Whereas like
not a pre-order.
Whereas Ignacy doing the pre-orders, like legitimate pre-orders, not doing Kickstarter, PayPal freezed his funds.
Yeah, because it has to be within like 20 or 30 days of when you order it.
Fulfillment.
Yeah.
So that leaves like this awkward gray area that's not really covered by any existing stuff, but like between this is for sale now and we want to make this, so please kickstart us. Like there's an awkward space in there.
I mean, that seems a reason for like even established companies to do a Kickstarter before the production as a glorified pre-order, just so you don't have to have the same shit
deal
as
with PayPal's bullshit. You could also just not use PayPal. You know, there's other ways to accept forms of electronic payment besides PayPal. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Looking forward to another play.
Yeah. Did you play anything else?
I played Good Cop, Bad Cop, which was I think I'd played it once before. That was super fun.
I've seen it a bunch. I've never had a chance to play it.
I've played it. It's fun.
You get
I have it.
Yeah, you get 3 cards, and it depends if it's red or blue. You're good or bad. Then there's like an agent and a kingpin. The agent is always good, even though they have like majority bad cards. The kingpin is always bad, even if they have majority good cards. And if you have both, which happened twice, you win.
Yep.
Just you though. Everyone else loses.
Like if you just randomly get dealt it, you
Both.
win.
Yeah. It's like you win.
But you don't know what you have. Do you know what you have to start off with? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's like, all right, I win.
Yeah.
I have both.
So if you get dealt and then it's like, oh, it's basically like a misdeal.
Yeah.
In that
it's
respect.
basically you just restart the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the good guys want to kill the kingpin and the bad guys want to kill the agent.
Yes.
So
So you'd be just super fucked if they didn't just let you win.
yeah.
and it's pretty basic. You have an equipment card that's like a one-time use or a special thing that can happen. You can look at one of their 3 cards, and then you can pick up a gun and then aim it at someone.
Okay.
So you have to wait a full turn before it gets back to you before you could shoot the gun. If you shoot anyone that is not the agent or kingpin, they die. If you shoot an agent or kingpin, they take a wound, but you know that like they are like confirmed to be the agent or kingpin.
Okay.
And there are ways to like look at other people's cards or swap them and stuff like that. So
Usually the equipment and stuff like that.
And so it could be like you can look and be like, oh, I see that he has one good card, and then maybe look at another one. And you're like, oh, he has another good card. He must be good, but then it's
Maybe
the
he's the
kingpin,
kingpin.
and that was the one card you didn't look at. But if you're like, if I saw good and good, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to swap my bad card for his good card. Now he could be bad, Like, because if you swap it and then you become majority bad, you are now a bad guy. So your allegiances can swap.
Switching teams a lot.
Yeah.
Which happened to me because Paul wanted to win.
Can you look at your cards at any time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So when somebody swaps your card for somebody else, you can look and see what they swapped it with?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But a lot of it's like if you're like a crooked cop and you see that someone's the kingpin and be like, oh, it's just an honest cop card.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then if you're the kingpin, you're like, oh, he's fucking on my team. All right. Yes. Because you don't know until you start revealing identities. But you can take more equipment by just flipping some of your cards face up. So you can get more of those equipment cards. But then you're sort of risking like knowledge versus everyone else to be like, oh, they're totally a crooked cop. Fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Played the longest, most epic game of Star Realms I have ever played.
That had to go at least for 45 minutes or something like that.
I was playing with like a newcomer to the board game group, Perrin. She had never played Star Realms before. She played Good Cop, Bad Cop, and I had a hankering for Star Realms because we had just reviewed it last week.
Yeah.
Apparently everyone does.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when we cover like feedback and stuff. But
Zach and Wes had played at least 2 games of Hero Realms in the time we finished this one game.
And the second game took a while, too.
Yeah, the second game was a while. So it was a teaching game for her. I was teaching her the game and was sort of helping her out as things went. We ended up both just having a lot of healing, and I had a lot of culling, and she had a lot of the yellow discard. So we just sort of kept going back and forth, like, all right, I do 17 to you. And I was like, all right, I heal 24. All right, I do 20 to you. All right, I heal 17. And it just kind of kept going back and forth that we were above 50 for a significant period of time. I would say about 45 minutes. Until, and we had a lot of stations with the outposts and stuff like that. So we went station heavy, heal heavy. So we were both super defensive until I got a crazy combo that was able to almost play the entirety of my deck super late game. I think it was 12 cards.
Jesus.
Maybe 15.
That's a lot of cards.
I did 49 damage.
That's ascension numbers right there.
Yeah. I only had 6 health left from the turn before, so if I didn't kill her, that was it.
Right.
I did 49 damage, and I think I killed her by 3. And I was like, yes! It was so late, like, they were starting to close.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
I mean, Strange always ends up doing that.
Staying open late.
And closing around us.
Yes, mopping around us as we play games. But it was Star Realms still real good. It was still just the base set. It was my nice sleeve set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, this shouldn't take more than 15, 20 minutes. 45 minutes later, there was a victor.
Yeah.
It was me.
Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she liked it a lot.
Cool.
It was, I barely won.
Yeah.
Brutalized me almost.
Yeah.
Right on.
I also played Blood Bowl, but there will be no bloody minutes.
No bloody minutes.
So it was the playoff game, but we have something special planned for it. We videotaped our game. And we will be doing a sportscaster style, I don't know, cast.
And you shot video for it, and so we're gonna do this. Is gonna go on YouTube.
Yes.
Shortly. It'll be our first ever YouTube video. Will be Blood Bowl related. So congratulations, Chef, for doing the first Mile High Game Guys video.
Yes. Which has to do with Blood Bowl.
So we'll see how it goes.
So we're gonna try and edit it together, and we're gonna do like a sportscast over it.
Yep.
Talk about our play, talk about both halves. So no spoilers.
Yes.
But Blood Bowl was played.
Correct.
Hopefully we get it out before the end of the season or the beginning of the playoffs.
Yes.
Or I have to also delay me talking about Blood Bowl.
I played a couple games at game night. Played 2 rounds of the game Spires that we got a review copy from Nevermore Games, designed by T.C. Petty III. And this is kind of a really interesting little trick-taking game. So you have, depending on how many people you play with, you have a number of markets out in the center that have cards underneath them. So in a 4-player game, you have all 3 markets, and you flip up 3 cards. And the deck of cards has 6 suits that range in number from like 0 up to 62. But unlike a normal deck of playing cards where each suit has the same spread of numbers, in this one, each suit is higher than the last one. So like the lowest suit is like 0 or like 1 to 12, and then 13 to 23, and so on and so forth.
Interesting.
The goal of the game is ultimately to have the most points, and you score points by building sets of suits that which the game calls Spires on the tableau in front of you. So every time you take a trick, then you play all the cards from that trick down in front of you. And at the end of the game, you'll get 5 points for every set that is 3 or less. And then you get -1 point for every card in a set that is 4 or more. Because the idea is that you're building these spires in the city, but you can't ever build taller than the castle. And so the castle's apparently 3, so you can build up to it, but not beyond it.
That's how you get your head cut off.
Correct. And so each turn, you have a little hand of 3 cards for like the player cards are match the market cards, A, B, and C, or 1, 2, and 3. I can't remember. And everybody puts one in the center, and you reveal to see which market you're going for. If nobody else goes for the market, that particular market, you get the card for it. If somebody else goes for it, then you play one of the cards from your hand, which are, again, those suits, and the trump is whatever card you're competing for. And so if you play a trump card, then whoever plays the highest of the suit wins. Otherwise, the highest card value wins. And then you get all of the cards that were in it. So like if we were playing a 4-player game and all 3 of us went for the same market, we'd all 3 play 3 cards. Whoever wins would take all 3 cards plus the center card. Which can fuck you because, like I said, you don't want to get more than 3 of a given suit. So, like, if it's whatever the black suit was, and we all 3 play a black card, whoever wins just earned 4 black cards. So now that entire set is worth negative points. So it's a really interesting kind of balance of how you play it. And the game ends when the deck runs out, and then all the markets run out. And at that point, whatever's left in your hand, you discard 1 card and then play all of it, which can also really fuck you if you're not paying attention to what you have in your hand versus what you have on your table, because then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have 2 yellow on the board, but 2 yellow in my hand. Now I got 4 yellow and I'm getting negative points again.
I somehow made 7 yellow cards. What am I doing?
Yes. And there are a handful of other cards in there that can remove cards from your tableau and stuff, so you can kind of combat if you do end up going a little bit over. You can try and bump it back down and stuff like that. But it is a bunch of fun. I really enjoyed it. Paul really enjoyed it.
You played it at the game night while we were playing First Martians.
Yes. Yeah, I played 2 games of it while you guys were playing First Martians.
Yes. You sounded very excited about it.
Yeah, it came out really well. Yeah, huge thanks to Nevermore Games for sending us that copy. We're going to get you guys some plays, and then we're talking about doing kind of a trick-taking review, or review a few different trick-taking games or something like that. So... other than that, I got roped into, I previously, like 2 or 3 episodes ago, I had mentioned that I will play any game that takes 10 minutes or less. And so one of the people in the game night group, Stefan, he called me out on that. He was like, hey, I've got this game. It's 10 minutes or less. You say you'd play any game that's 10 minutes or less. It's like, yes, I did say that. So we played Bottom of the Ninth, which basically is a small dice game that simulates the bottom of the 9th inning in a game of baseball. So one team is the pitcher, one team's the batter, and you have like a little player card that is like you have a hand of like batters and pitchers, and you can pick which one you want to play. And the pitcher each player has 2 tokens, a white and a red one, and the white one has like high and low, and the red one has inside or outside. And so the pitcher chooses, puts them picks what side he wants, puts them down, and then the batter picks his, and then you reveal. And if the batter does not pick what the pitcher did, then the pitcher gets those tokens as like bonuses that he can use. If the batter did match, then it means he like kind of nailed the pitch, so he gets to use those as bonuses.
Okay.
Then the pitcher rolls 2 die, a regular D6, and then a D6 that's got like 3 symbols for ball, 2 symbols for strike, and then 1 symbol for corner, which is like super strike. And then the batter rolls 1 die. And so like if it's a ball, you need to roll less than his D6. If it's a strike, you need to roll above his D6. And if it's a corner, you're just fucked. And if you roll a 6 as the batter, it's like, if it's a strike and then you roll a 6, then you really like hit it good. And so then you roll again. And if you roll 6 again, you hit a home run. And then he gets a chance to roll a 6 to catch the home run, and you're out. Otherwise, you win the game.
Okay.
I don't know how that makes sense. Catch a home run, because it isn't home run.
Well, yeah, it's a steal, so it's like it's going over the fence, and like the outfielder makes a ridiculous
that makes more sense then.
grab
Okay, yeah.
to catch
Climbed the wall.
Yeah. So
Double backflip and then
So he was
crushed it.
He was talking me into playing. He's
and
like,
then
yeah,
fell and broke both his legs.
correct. That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
hell of a way to go out.
But he saved the game.
His knees exploded like hand grenades.
So Stefan just told me, he's like, yeah, it only takes like 10 minutes. He's like, one game even took 10 seconds because the first pitch of the game, the guy rolled 6 and then 6 and hit a home run on the game on the first pitch. But it was surprisingly fun. I mean, it's not anything I super love. It's not super deep. There's not really any crazy strategy. It's just a fun way to pass a couple minutes while you're waiting for a game to open up or something. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And that was about all I really gotten to play recently.
Besides our review game.
Besides our review game.
Indeed.
Zach, what have you played?
All the things I played.
Yes, and then more things that you also played.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Was I played Blood Bowl for the first time.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
You totally played Blood Bowl for the first time.
I did, because we're reviewing it at some point.
Yes.
And so Ant has just kept like, you ready to play yet? You ready to play yet? And so I was like, all right, let's do this.
Is this the Zach Bloody Minutes?
Oh, God.
Is that what it is? Is that what's happening?
We took it a bloody minute.
But it's Zach.
Yes. So I was the Dark Elves, and Ant was the, the Lizards?
Lizards?
Yes.
Lizard men?
Yeah. And I was the Dark Elves, quote unquote, but my Witch Elf was just a witch. And my Blitzers were just like, my Blitzers were just Norse guys.
You were using Norse models for your Blood Elf team.
Exactly, yeah. And so we ended up going to Epic, and it was, like I said, it was the first time I'd ever played it. I ended up watching a video just so when he explained it, I'd be like, okay, I get what you're saying now.
How did the video go?
It was like 30 minutes. It was basically a good, like, this is how things actually work.
This is a tackle zone.
Yes, but what I was expecting when, like, he gave me those training wheels the first couple turns. And then as soon as I was on my own, I was just like, oh, God, there's so many choices to make.
Yes.
And that was the main thing that I hadn't wanted to play before, was just because I was like, I'm going to feel super overwhelmed by all of these choices of what to do. And I don't know if this is a good move or not. And so I definitely made some noob moves. But we ended up tying 2-2, according to Ant, through a lot of quote-unquote elfy bullshit.
Oh, yes, that is a standard for the world of
Dark
Blood Bowl.
elfy bullshit.
Dark, yeah.
Yes.
So apparently, like, they're a little bit more sturdier than some of the other ones.
I think they're armor 8.
Yeah, they're armor 8 and 7, but they're good at, like, they're easier at punch. I don't know. Anyway, I chose them. I like the team enough. It worked well. Like, I was just like, pick one that would work good with these. What's something you haven't played in a while? Because I'm not going to know whether, I'm glad I wasn't like KF Dwarves versus like other guys where you just sort of just bash at each other.
You're glad you weren't a bashy team.
Yes.
You're glad you were more of an agi team.
Yes, very much so. Because there are a lot of times where I was like, oh, I've got to dodge out of this or shit's going to go south.
But being able to dodge out of that on 2+ sure is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember any casualties or?
We only had. So I ended up knocking out, I think it was 2 of his little guys,
Skinks?
the Skinks, because they had strength 2.
Yes, they do.
And I actually knocked out one of his bigger guys too.
Probably a lizard man.
Yes, who has strength 4.
Yep.
Because I just surrounded the shit out of him, and then I got
strength
lucky on
4,
drive.
agility 1, armor 10.
Yeah. But I ended up knocking one of his guys out by throwing him into the crowd.
Surfing.
Yeah, and apparently when that happens, they throw the ball back.
Oh, he had the ball.
Yes, he had the ball.
He had the ball on the sideline.
Because I feel like that was I either hit him with somebody else and then blitzed
pushed,
in, or it was
pushed.
my witch elf who has frenzy.
And you
so
just
you can hit and then hit.
I faintly remember you saying you had to make quite the dodge roll to get next to the ball carrier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it was. He had a cage going on right around it, and I was like, all right, I have to make a 3+ and then a 4+ even to get in there, and then I can hit. And he was not expect. He was just like, oh well, he's just gonna fail. And then I did it, and he's like, God damn it.
That's Blood Bowl.
But what was great is he basically had this line of all of his guys crushing around me, and then I push his carrier out, and then they the audience throws the ball.
Audience, yes,
or whatever, and the crowd,
yeah, the crowd,
yeah. They throw the ball, and it's what, 2d6.
So it can go 3 different directions: straight, right, or left.
And it went straight.
Yeah.
And then you roll 2d6, right?
Yep. So it's random which direction, and it's random how much distance.
11 squares it went.
It can only go up to 12.
Yeah.
So
and basically I had a guy right near the ball, and I was like,
they threw it to the other side of the field.
I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take that and start running.
Run. It's pretty rare for the ball actually to go out of bounds.
Right.
But when it goes out of bounds, it can just be like, well, I guess it's totally random where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Because if it goes left or right at an angle, it can go towards either end zone up to 12, which can be a huge advantage. Or disadvantage. It's like, oh, they just threw it all the way behind my entire line. I have to go back and get it and then put it back up front.
And then he had a giant ogre goblin Croxagore, but it was a goblin because he didn't have it or what. Like it wasn't a goblin. It was just
a big troll.
It was a big troll.
Yeah, I think he was using his Oni.
Yes, and then that one has boneheaded. And 2 times when I really needed him to roll a 1, he rolled a 1.
Nice. Yeah.
Basically, is any time my witch was right within spitting distance of that thing, I was like, oh God, please roll a 1. And he did it. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, the nice thing about Boneheaded is he loses all tackle zone. All he does is just be like, I'm really dumb and nothing around me matters.
Yes.
Which not all big guys do.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Like the Minotaur can just get really angry and not do anything, but he still has his tackle zones and stuff.
Right. And then like the tree is just like anchored in.
Deep roots.
Yeah, deep roots.
Yep.
But yeah, it went well.
Yeah.
Ant said that I liked it. Yeah, I seem to have liked it a lot more than he thought I was, which I think the main reason I was not even that I didn't think I was going to like it is just time commitment wise.
It's a game that takes a couple hours.
Yeah, it like when we were getting like near the end, like my turns were taking like 4 minutes or something like that. So it was getting there versus like 6.5 near,
Yeah.
But once I learned, and then getting the blocks and stuff like that is definitely it takes a while to
understanding what tackle zones are versus who gets assists and who counts as an assist, but they're in a tackle zone and things like that.
And so, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, so would you agree with Ant's assessment? Did you enjoy it more than you thought you would?
I thought I would enjoy it about as much, but I didn't. I thought I would like it, but not love it like you guys do. Time wise is the main thing. Like I don't at least right now I could not see myself doing a league. But I could see doing a
tournament day.
Yeah, tournament day or something like that. And after one play, it felt 90% positioning, 10% die rolling.
Yes, so absolutely. Unless that 10% die rolling fucks your positioning, and good luck.
Yes,
which is what happened to me my first 2 times I played.
Yeah, so which was quite a while ago.
It was a while ago, and plus my first time playing, I was dwarves.
Yeah,
and so I was slow plotting.
High armor.
I don't want,
and that was boring.
Yeah. Okay. 90% positioning, 9% dice rolling, 1% fuck you.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. So yeah, that was.
You tied?
Yes, we tied 2-2.
All right.
So the last one I got, I think it was I think I got at the end of the 8th round on my turn, and basically
second half.
Second half, yeah.
Ooh, tied right at the buzzer.
Because I had to circle around some people and I had to get I had to get 3 2+ rolls in order to hand off the ball to somebody, and then get a 2+ there, and then I could get to go from there.
Not the worst die rolls for something like that has happened.
And he realized that he fucked up his positioning. He should have gone somewhere else. It would make me have to roll an extra 3+.
There you go.
So
it's all about making other people make die rolls.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I won't talk about my game that I played against Ant, but that's definitely what you have to do in that game.
Yep. So that was my bloody minute, I guess.
Yep. More bloody minutes to come. Maybe not only from me.
No. Yeah, because we are going to review it at some point, and so I told him that I don't think I would like the crunchier teams, that I want to play something that is different than just agile ones to get a better sense of it. So
okay.
But yeah.
Right on.
That's it.
That is it. Nice long bit of banter for you wonderful listeners.
We played board games.
And it was banters about board games this time. It wasn't like last week where it was fucking 30 minutes before we really started talking about games.
We didn't go on any vacations or weddings or...
I went on a 17-mile bike ride. My butt's still real sore.
Not from the bike ride.
No.
Man, it's like T-ball. I just crushed that one out of the park.
Do you want to try to roll a 6 to save that?
Can't make it that easy.
I'm playing slow pitch softball over here, man. I'm just lobbing them over there for you.
Yeah.
It's all for the show. This is a sacrifice I make. Entertainment.
Yeah, you're willingly doing it, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that wraps up banter and stuff, and I think we're about ready to move on to news and Kickstarter here.
Absolutely. We've got some Kickstarters and news, and we will start with Kickstarters. Our first Kickstarter we've got up here is Argent, the Consortium 2nd edition. This one is almost funded. about 83K on its 100K goal, 1,400 backers, and about a month left to go. And this one has a pledge of about $60 and an upgrade kit for $28 if you own the first edition.
Yes, which we will soon have a copy of the first edition. We got in touch with Level 99 Games. They're going to send us a copy of the first edition so we can play through it, check it out.
Before we even knew this Kickstarter existed.
Yeah.
So.
One of the main things that this is going to add compared to the first edition is it's going to have little clip-on bases for some of the minis so that you can tell which player controls which people. Because in this game, you are playing as students and professors at like a magic school, and you're competing to gain like the most notoriety or something like that across the school. And so you compete in a bunch of different areas. It's kind of a worker placement game, but each of your pieces are different types of magicians, and they have different abilities and things like that.
Definitely not Harry Potter-esque. Much more like schools of magic, like very much, I don't know, high magic?
Yes.
Fantasy theme almost?
Yeah. Definitely a Ameritrash Euro kind of hybrid.
Ameritrashy?
It's got a kind of an anime art style. For those of you who aren't familiar with Argent, those of you who are, I mean, it's the same art style from the first one.
You that aren't familiar with Level 99 games.
Yeah.
Yes,
they
which
tend to have that.
That's their style.
Yeah, that or a pixel arty.
Yes.
As someone who likes anime and stuff, the art on here looks pretty good. I like it.
Yeah. Got some solid artists.
Wow. So yeah, you can, like Jeff said, for about $60, you can get a copy of the second edition. You can pledge quite a bit higher, well up into $100 to get the second edition, and they've got a couple big box expansions, a couple small box expansions. You can get all of that mixed in there. So that's Argent, the Consortium.
So we'll give you our thoughts on the first edition when we play it.
Yep, we get it Tuesday, so hopefully we'll get it played here pretty soon and be able to give some initial thoughts.
Yesterday/tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this.
Well, they're not listening to it right now.
So that's
Yes,
tomorrow.
It's
right
tomorrow
now.
from us. It's
Yeah.
yesterday for listeners.
Why are you guys always so bad with time?
I'm not bad with time. I fully understand what's happening.
This is all live, like we've said before. So
Yeah, so we'll be able to give you some initial thoughts during the banter of an upcoming episode. We probably won't get a full review in until after Gen Con. We kind of packed up our review schedule through Gen Con.
yeah,
So,
good games coming up.
yep.
Next up on the Kickstarter list is Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done from TMG. This one has been well funded, 206,000 of its 40,000 goal, 2,600 backers, and this one's got a little over a week left to go. You can pledge this one for $50 for the regular edition, or if you're a real backer, the Deluxeified edition at $69.
If you're not a pretender, yeah.
Because Deluxeified TMG stuff is awesome.
Yep. Lots of metal coins or metal influence tokens in this regard.
Yes.
And then also plastic. It's interesting because they're actually going, they're going to have plastic minis, but then also bigger wood pieces if you really hate plastic minis.
Yes.
So, because they were going to do plastic and people were like, oh, why is it going to plastic? And they're like, okay, well,
Here's wood.
here's both.
Although it looks like the knights are still staying plastic. It's just the buildings that are also getting the wood treatment.
No, so that is a Kickstarter. It's a stretch goal.
Oh.
They're going to add wooden ones too.
Oh, because earlier up in the main area, they have the bonus 16 silkscreen buildings, which is the fancier wood.
But they will be
Yep.
giving wood knights on top of that.
Gotcha.
If you get the Kickstarter.
Gotcha. So the Deluxeified version, you can only get through the Kickstarter. TMG, pretty much that's the only way you get them. You can get a handful maybe at conventions. But
You can get them aftermarket for way more.
Yeah, you could spend about twice as much as you would.
Yes.
That didn't happen to
No,
any
it
of us.
didn't happen for Yokohama at all. No.
Yeah.
But one thing that's really nice on here is that the player board has that. It's the recessed wells, like in Scythe.
Correct.
Two layer.
Yeah, 2-layer. Dual layered player boards with recessed wells for action wedges and player bits.
Action wedges. I like that. We should use that in Twilight Imperium. Not command.
Action wedge.
Action wedges.
Yep. But so this game has like the main mechanism is it's like a rondel, but also like a Moncala sort of thing too.
Yeah.
And then everybody has their own like each faction of the Crusaders,
Has their own castle and city. And
Well, not just that too, but they all have their own player powers. Like one starts with extra ones, but it takes them more to move.
Okay.
Some of them start with less, but they get to choose because when you say you pick up the 4 from whatever action you decide to do. Usually it'd be like you drop 1 on the next 4. This one allows you to drop 2 on 1 instead if you'd like. Or there's one that's like it lets you skip 1. Or you're allowed to put 1 back on the spot you were at. So each of them, it looks like how they focus on things is fairly different, which seems pretty cool. I heard that there were some people were worried because it was about the Crusaders.
Yeah.
And about crusading.
The Crusades.
Yeah. And there is a crusade action, but it's really, it's not really about crusading and that. It's just more, it's more about just putting your influence out on the board.
Yeah, Seth Jaffe mentioned on BGG, he talked about this, like there's a BGG thread about, hey, I don't know how comfortable I feel being a European crusader stomping around the Middle East. He's like, no, that's not really what's going on here.
The map is Europe.
Yeah, and this was originally more supposed to be, when he started designing it, his base idea was he wanted to do something about the rise of the Knights Templar. Mm-hmm. And so originally everybody was going to be Templar, but then he was like, well, that doesn't make sense. If you're competing against each other, why would the same faction compete against itself? So instead he did it where you're just doing different orders of knights that are basically trying to gain the most influence around Europe in the kind of lead up to the Crusades. So yeah, you're not going to be pillaging
the Middle East
or anything like that.
There was
totally abstracted away all of the atrocities committed during the Crusades.
Yes. Those existed, but this game is not about them.
Nope.
It's definitely
We're just going to focus on something else instead.
Yeah. It's definitely more about that era's.
It's like the shit ton of World War II war games where you ignore all of the atrocities the Nazis did and you just focus on trying to, play as Rommel and actually succeed in North Africa.
Kill some Nazis.
Okay, Brad Pitt.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So that is Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done.
And there is shipping. I don't know if you said that if there's actually, like, you will have to pay shipping on it. But it's $6 for the US. So
Not bad.
if you're, although the highest is, it lists a bunch of countries and then it says rest of the world, $90.
Yeah.
So if you live in that rest of the world part, I don't know if it'd be worth it.
Real glad to live in America right now when it comes to board games.
For shipping purposes.
Although,
Yeah.
I'm still pretty, like, as bad as some things are here, I'm still pretty damn glad to live in America.
But the shipping, fantastic.
The shipping especially. Mm-hmm. Unless you're trying to get a spotter game. Then I kind of wish I lived in the Netherlands.
I think I'm okay living over here for that.
Yeah, good too.
All right, next up.
Next up, we got Hex Chests Remastered. Artisan dice boxes. Another well-funded one, $57,000 of its $5,000 goal, 600 plus backers. This one has a bit more than 3 weeks left to go. This one you can pledge for about $75 for the very fancied up version, or it has a cool do-it-yourself for only $15.
Yeah. Which...
Sorry, I was just reading. That floaty thing from the video is one of the pledges.
Yes. Which the floaty thing from the video is a little magnetic base and a magnetic top. So your wooden dice thing sits on the floaty piece and floats above.
Yeah.
Like
and
they
it
had a
spins
little-
around and stuff like that.
Yeah. Magnets, how do they work? Anyhow, yeah, these look real cool. It's another awesome, totally not really practical, but if you've got money to burn and you want to have cool shit for your D&D stuff.
Yeah. Especially because you can get it, it looks like, is it engraved? Or it's etched maple to have a bunch of different arts on there. You got Cthulhu, swords, mystic eyes, dragons, lock things, monk. It looks pretty cool.
Ton.
I'd use these for Blood Bowl dice, to be fair. Two sets of D6s, some block dice. Yeah.
There you go. I'm surprised they don't have a fairly high one out where you can get a bunch of different ones. Pretty much all of their pledge tiers are for just one thing.
They look very nice.
Yes.
I do also like the do-it-yourself. It's kind of like the Meeple Realty or Broken Token-esque laser cut wood, so you can kind of make your own, which is pretty cool.
And then paint it and stuff like that. Yeah.
You can stain it how you wish. But the etched ones, real nice.
Yeah.
They have a thoroughly ridiculous $2,500 pledge tier called King of Dragon Sharks. We'll fly you out to our workshop in Ann Arbor for a weekend. We'll give you a tour of the shop. We'll make you a personalized Hex Chest Remastered. Then we'll make you dress up like a dinosaur and video record you terrorizing a tiny matchstick village and maybe falling over. It only sounds too good to be true. Includes mostly humiliation. And that could be yours for the low price of $2,500.
I mean, how much can you pay someone else to make a matchstick village to destroy in a
dinosaur suit?
I mean, is that worth $2,500 to you? It almost is to me.
It almost is to me. Can I pay it and make Jeff go do that?
I mean, it's not no.
Yeah, so that's Hex Chests. Check them out if you're looking to get some cool trays for your dice.
Yeah, you got almost a month for that one. Last up on Kickstarters is Who Goes There? This one is another well-funded one, $190,000 of its $54,000 goal, over 2,000 backers and a little less than 3 weeks to go. You can pledge this one for $60 or the usual, hey, this is a minis game for $100. This one caught my eye because it is based on the novella that inspired John Carpenter's The Thing. So this is a 4-player co-op game, up to 6 players with some expansions of basically recreating The Thing without all of the movie license. I really, really like its art style. I don't really know what to call that, but sort of cartoony. It has a lot of really cool crafting stuff in there. It has 4 people trying to survive in your Antarctic camp while somebody may or may not be infected. The cool part about the game is everyone starts not infected, and you, as you adventure out, can possibly be infected, come back, and then people have to be like, well, is he infected or not? And since it's Antarctica, you can sleep together for warmth and not have to risk certain challenges, or you can sleep and possibly get infected by a thing, not the thing, because that's licensed.
Watch out.
It's a thing. What I really like is it's based off the novella, so they can use a lot of the same characters and things that happened in the movie and make a co-op game out of it with some originality that you don't always like, oh, it's not the movie. So they have a lot more creative license to there.
I really like that the book, I didn't realize this, the novella that the movie's based off of was written by John W. Campbell, and then the movie was by John Carpenter. Those names are just very similar.
They are. The book was published in 1938, so it's still pretty early.
They probably didn't know each other.
Yeah, early sci-fi. I mean, I just saw John Carpenter in concert like a year ago, so he's doing well. Yeah, I could use a sweet co-op version of The Thing.
I was really excited about this Kickstarter once you showed it to us here, Jeff, and I was looking it over until I realized how much it costs. Like it's
$60.
Yeah, but that's only gets you four characters.
Now this is very Zombicide-y, where you can pay a lot more for more characters. It's $100 for all 8 different characters, all the different characters. 110
plus shipping.
Yes. It is definitely your $100 mini game of the week. But there's a lot of really cool stuff you get in there. I like it. It looks good. I'm not sure if I'll back it or not, just because it is $110.
I doubt I'll have the money.
I have a lot of Kickstarters going on right now, but this game looks really, really good. Theme-wise, there's lots of gameplay videos and stuff like that, and I could always use a 90-minute co-op game to...
Well, plus it's The Thing themed,
and
which
it's The Thing.
is awesome.
Yeah. It looks real good. Take a look at it. Who Goes There? Kickstarter.
Yep.
2 weeks.
So that wraps up Kickstarters. I think we're ready to move on to some news.
Yes, we are, because news comes after Kickstarter, I don't know, on a coin flip.
At Jeff's whim.
First up on news, there's a, I don't know, not quite dumbed down, but definitely playered down version of Captain Sonar coming.
Just called Sonar.
Yep, just Sonar.
Yes. 2 to 4 players version of Captain Sonar.
Yep. It still comes from Atago Games, and they thinned this down. I'm pretty sure it is just for Target. Target has been doing a bunch of different partnerships with some larger game companies to do kind of scaled down versions of things. I think they were the first to get Machi Koro,
Big Lights,
Big City, Big Lights, something like that. They've partnered with Days of Wonder to do a Ticket to Ride first journey, and now they are doing Sonar.
Yeah.
A slightly smaller version of Captain Sonar.
I can go on about all of the Target exclusives.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Basically, they took away the two boring roles, the engineer and the first mate, or is it the first mate? XO, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just the navigator
And the radio operator.
Or the captain and the radio operator, yeah.
Or, yeah. And the captain, he basically takes over both of the other roles now. And they kind of changed how things work. There's not... so for those of you who've played Captain Sonar, the engineer, as the captain calls out direction, you have to break systems, and that it looks like that's not in this one really. Just as the captain, when you move, you gain charges, and those charges determine what actions you can take.
I could go for a 4-player Captain Sonar.
Yeah.
That seems like an awesome idea.
And then you can do 2-player too, where each person takes over both roles, and it's not as overwhelming as it would be for fucking Captain Sonar. So
yeah,
that would be.
It would still be hard to play.
It would.
Like you'd have to.
Can you imagine playing 2-player Captain Sonar? Though? Does
it go down?
Hold on 1 second. It's real time still, but you're always just like, okay, let me double check here. Move.
One guy just pulling levers in the fucking. The other sub.
It'd be like that GIF of the spacesuit guy who's like just hitting all the switches.
Yep, pretty much.
I could see Captain Sonar being a great game night.
Yes.
Not Captain Sonar. Sonar becoming a great game night game.
Yes, I think that especially getting rid of essentially because you can't really play Captain Sonar with 4 players. Like it just becomes too overwhelming for other people to handle those other roles.
6 to 8.
Plus they're boring.
Yeah.
But then once you branch out to 6 or 8, you basically get to like, oh, you're new. Here, take this boring role while we play the fun roles.
Here's the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to play the fun roles, and you would suck, and we would die.
Yeah, just be next to the captain and be like, oh, we could do this. And the captain, shut up, I'm doing something else.
Slap him in the face.
This is my boat. I'm the captain here.
Is that what you did, Adrian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Regularly.
Wham!
Got slapped. I was not high enough in the ranking to be the slapper. I was always the slappy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? I made Adrian giggle. Next up on news, a Song of Ice and Fire tabletop miniatures game has come out with some more details as well as its Kickstarter launching.
Yes. So as of the time that our voices are going into your ears, this Kickstarter is up and has probably already made approximately $10 jillion.
It's not like the season premiere of Game of Thrones didn't happen last week or anything.
Yeah. Not to mention, Cool Mini already has the secret to printing money. And now they're combining that with Game of Thrones' ability to print money. And I'm pretty sure they're going to make enough money in this Kickstarter to like match the GDP of most small countries.
Yes.
So
combined.
Hooray.
Yeah. So they came out with some different details about their different modes that you can play the game in. Each of the modes is based off one of the books. Even some books that aren't out yet. They all seem to just be like, hey, which mission do you want to play?
Yeah.
And then that's a different name of one of the books.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to seeing more about the tabletop miniatures game.
Yeah, I'm really kind of disappointed that it's coming out now. I mean, I totally understand why with, like we said, the release of Game of Thrones coming back on HBO and everything. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, I'm super broke right now. And this is probably a game I would have wanted to own. So
I mean, it's tabletop wargaming, so...
Which I don't do, but I'm vaguely interested in. And all the things I've been seeing about this, and it nails, like it's right in the kind of theme to pull me into a new genre of gaming.
Yeah.
Remember Blood Bowl, Zach?
I do remember Blood Bowl.
Well, it's like that, but 4 hours. And no squares to put your dudes in.
Yep.
That's wargaming. That's a lot of tape measurers.
Yep. I've got this bucket right here. Let's just fill it full of dice, and then I'm just going to roll it. And then we'll go.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
I had 90 dice once. Like 90 D6s. Different colors, so I could, like, which weapons were which ones.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of dice. Still own them.
You didn't get rid of them?
Just going to die under a giant pile of D6s someday.
They're tiny. They're small.
But yeah, so this Kickstarter will be up by the time you're listening to this episode, so jump over and check it out, and we will talk more about it next week when we find out how much money it has made.
Last up on news, is Raxxon. This one is a game set in the Dead of Winter universe at the outbreak of the zombie virus or whatever it is.
Yes, which I just recently learned. I can't remember if it was like low player count or what did you play this week or one of the multitude of podcasts I listened to today at work catching back up on old ones. But so Raxxon takes place in the same universe as not only Dead of Winter, but also Spectre Ops, which is another Plaid Hat Games game. And so the first game, if you're going chronologically, Spectre Ops is the first one.
Really?
And you're playing as a squad of soldiers breaking into Raxxon, who at that time was a weapons manufacturer. Mm-hmm. And I've never played Spectre Ops. I don't know what more there is to that game story-wise. But
Can someone turn invisible in that game?
Maybe.
Okay. That'd be nice in Dead of Winter.
Then
Zombies invisible. All right.
Then comes Raxxon, this game that's now sort of coming out, where essentially you are trying to evacuate a city at the outbreak of this zombie virus. So there's you have a grid of cards that are filled with helpful survivors, not helpful survivors, and then the varying stages of infected people, and you have to maneuver them around the grid so that you can use cards that like evacuate entire row or kill entire column, and things like that. And you're trying to go kind of fast-paced because you got a limited amount of time until Raxxon Corporation gains enough power to just take over and do whatever they do. And then the later game in the series is Dead of Winter, where, you know, despite your best efforts at evacuating people, whatever, the zombie plague takes over and everybody's dead.
Or undead.
The interesting thing about this is the marketing plan they came up with for this. So a handful of reviewers and
have gotten it already.
Industry adjacent people got copies along with an initial invite where they could send it to 3 other people.
So they can infect other people with the game.
Ooh.
And then when they sent it to other people, those people, if they bought the game, and you can only when you buy the game do you get your 3 invites to send to others. They actually have a map on their website that shows the spread of Raxxon as it's like, because it'll show like, you know, you were based here in Denver and you bought it and then you send it to 3 people and you send it to Washington, D.C. and you send it to China and you send it to Canada. And then those places send it to these places and it has this like heat map of how the game spread virally, which is kind of interesting. Currently the game if you can pull an invite, it's going for $40. I've heard mixed things about whether it's a $40 game. I've heard a few people say that it's definitely worth just waiting until it's inevitably on sale for like $20.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a card game in mostly the Dead of Winter universe. The Spectre Ops, the company you're invading, is called Raxxon, so technically it's in the same universe. But
it more reminded me of kind of a, I don't know, Codenames-esque setup. Size, so it's just a bunch of cards and rows and things like that.
Yeah, it's a grid of cards.
Yep.
So,
but I want to try it out. I like Dead of Winter. I might like this.
Yeah.
I also like Resident Evil, which this is nothing like in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Yeah. As I was reading about Spectre Ops, it's basically like this is Umbrella. These are genetically modified, like super soldiers / we made zombies.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, there's very strong analogs between some of the Resident Evil stuff and some of the Dead of Winter stuff.
Indeed.
But there's strong ties and analogs between pretty much all zombie genres.
Understand. R.I.P. George Romero.
I know.
Yeah.
I went on a George Romero binge the day that I found out he died. Yeah. Watched The Crazies, the original Night of the Living Dead, the remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
Or no, the original Dawn of the Dead and the remake Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay. I saw the original 35 millimeter Night of the Living Dead a couple years ago in North Carolina. It was back-to-back film, Night of the Living Dead, and then Army of Darkness, original film.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm not that into zombie movies, so I didn't do anything special.
Okay.
Fair enough. I'm super into zombie stuff.
Shocking.
As am I.
It's one of my favorite themes.
That's it for news.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It's over.
We're all done with
news.
With everything.
It's all over. Not coming next week. Mile High Game Guys.
If we ever go off air, we're just never telling anyone anything. We just vanish into the mists.
When are you guys having the next episode? Never.
Well, flew to Mexico, played board games on a beach, and never talked to another person ever. No?
No.
We won't have that much money.
No.
And how much money you need to live on a beach in Mexico.
I don't know.
More than we have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jeff, did you want to read any more of the old emails from the giveaway, or we actually got some new emails?
We have some new ones. I will read one or two of ye oldie ancient emails at this point. All right. Emails at milehighgameguys.com. If you would like to send us any emails, feel free. Don't feel you're responsible for this email section or anything, but you should send some emails. First up is this email from Zach.
Not me.
Not
Different Zach.
Different Zach. Still an H.
Spells it right.
Yep. He says, "Hey guys, you finally bribed me into sending an email. I have terrible memory for things in the past, but I'm pretty sure I've been listening since last fall sometime and just ignored the pleas for emails." 3 things.
You can't ignore us for long.
No. 3 things. Not sure if they classify as interesting. I used to work at a company that makes gears, mostly very large ones. I didn't actually make the gears, but I made models and drawings of them. The $5 a month I'm giving to you on Patreon is coming right out of the pockets of the Secret Cabal guys. Because I like your show more, and I am trying out a gaming budget. I don't understand what a budget is.
No.
Yeah.
It's one of those things people who are responsible with their money have.
Yeah.
I mean, you have money and you're not spending it. Is it really anything?
Clearly, it may as well be zero.
Exactly, yeah.
I may as well run that bank account to zero. Exactly. That's as useful as that money is.
Yeah.
Finally, Zach, I am 6'5" and get a kick out of Jeff and Zach making fun of Adrian for being small.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, Adrian's not small.
I mean,
but he is shorter than most of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned before on the show, I think this is one of the few places that the current friend group I have regularly makes me feel short, which is I haven't experienced since grade school. like I felt really short when I was really young, but then most of my life, most people in around my height, 5'8" doesn't make me feel short. That's not that much noticeably taller. But all you over 6 foot motherfuckers.
There's a lot of them. I mean, I'm 6'1", and everyone makes me feel short.
Yeah, we got some tall dudes in our in our group. It's crazy. But dude, supporting us over Secret Cabal. I mean, basically, we're better than Secret Cabal. That's what he just said, right?
The numbers prove it.
Fact.
$5. He's got $5 on. We are better than Secret Cabal. How many other dollars have people put down about how much better we are than Secret Cabal?
Yeah.
I think that's a 0 to 5.
Yeah, well, I would assume that, maybe some of our other awesome patrons who are supporting the show, maybe some of them also support Secret Cabal, but I'm going to assume that most of them don't. So all of them are saying we're better than Secret Cabal.
Yes.
And they're speaking with cash. Which, as we
money.
all know, is the ultimate form of free speech in this country.
It is.
Indeed. Next email comes from James. What could be more interesting than the most interesting man in the world? Then he sends a picture, which I will read via audio podcast.
Yep.
Join video gaming club. Play board games anyway. But did you know the actor who plays in the commercial, or used to, has actually saved 3 people's lives? Thanks for the podcast and the giveaway, James.
Did not know that.
Yep.
I did not know that.
He's got some cool stories, that guy.
He is
I would hope so. He's the most interesting man in the world,
right?
Indeed. And our last email comes from Trey, but we already read that. But even though Trey has yet to get in contact with us about his Gloomhaven that he won, we should probably get in touch with him.
Well, I wanted
some point.
I wanted to wait a little bit and see if he's was.
We're really dragging it out.
I wanted to see if it was a situation where I heard about you through the giveaway, and now I'm actually a fan and I'm listening. Much like what happened with Alan, another one of our listeners from St. Louis.
Absolutely.
We did the Imperial Settlers giveaway. He listened just to find out how to enter that giveaway, and then now he listens and tweets at us. And
now we know Trey has been like, hey, where's my... Maybe he's just too shy to get in touch with us about the Gloomhaven. Maybe not. Or maybe he is the true Garbage the Hutt. And doesn't listen to the show and only joined the drawing to win a copy of Gloomhaven.
Which he did, and we'll give to him because we said we would.
Yes.
But we won't like it if you don't listen to the show, Trey.
I'm indifferent.
I'm indifferent as well.
Yeah, we got enough other awesome listeners.
Yeah. I guess you're just not one of them, Trey.
I really hope he's actually like a solid listener, and he
And he's
just
like, "Fuck you guys! What are you doing?"
he's like, I thought you said in the giveaway you said you'd get in touch with me. You haven't gotten in touch with me.
For our, we got plenty more of the Gloomhaven interesting facts to come, but we actually have a new email. Two new emails for this week that don't have to do with a giveaway.
We're getting dangerously close to Jeff actually having to start choosing which emails to read.
Yes, dangerously close to like
He'll
one.
still choose all. Fuck the time limit.
Yeah. This email comes from Brandon, titled Stuff and Stuff, but only with one F. I know polls are closed and results are in, but I have to change my vote of favorite host. Sorry, Jeff. My new vote has to go to Adrian for mentioning Mistborn.
I'm the best. I'm
No.
the best.
No, it's
Notice how he says the polls are closed and the results are in.
Yep.
So
Yes.
yeah,
You're definitely last.
yeah.
So it's
Maybe in another poll that we have, he can vote for you, but otherwise it doesn't mean
It's
shit.
an ongoing rolling vote at this
No.
point. I'm making it official
False.
right now.
No.
I
2
think
to 0.
2-0. I
Yeah.
choose it not. I say, fuck Adrian.
Adrian's
That's what I
vote
said.
doesn't
Yeah,
count. Yeah.
All right, so just stop recording.
Yeah. Mistborn. It's my all-time favorite book series. I highly recommend continuing on to Wax and Wayne, followed by the Secret History novella. Make sure you read the Adrian mentioned Mistborn, and I got absurdly excited. Screw the Blood Bowl minutes. Didn't even get it right. Bloody minute. Let's have a Mistborn minute. As always, I'm loving the podcast. Keep up the great-ish work, Brandon.
Yes. So just to give a quick update on Mistborn, I stayed up till 3 a.m. Saturday night reading. Got almost done with the second book in the series. Finished that on Sunday, and then stayed up way too late considering how early I get up to go to work. Starting book 3 of the series. It's real good. It is allomancy, not alloymancy. They
Yes, we went over
did
this.
drop the
Yeah.
Y. Well, because you guys had asked if it was alloy, because it's supposed to be about metals, and I was like, I can't remember now.
Huh.
They did actually drop the Y, so it's allomancy.
Okay.
And there's also
But it's definitely more metal-esque.
yes,
Okay.
And there's also ferrochemistry, and now I'm starting to catch wind of. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's another kind of metal-based magic that's like super evil.
Okay.
It's crazy. So,
Super evil.
Yep.
Don't read. It's super evil.
Really exciting to keep reading that series.
Yeah. Last email this week comes from Matt, titled Great Travel Games. Hey guys, wanted to know if you had any games that are easy to play while driving/riding in the car. I'm going on a bachelor trip for a buddy, and we will have about 3 to 4 people in a car for about 7 hours each way. Thoughts? Also wanted to say I love your podcast and am happy to support the show so you can keep brewing up some great content, Matt.
Yes, which Matt is our most recent patron on Patreon. I think I forgot to specifically congratulate him
think
when he
we did
started
last
supporting
week.
the show. Did we?
I think so. Maybe not.
Zach shakes his head no.
He just cut it. No thanks.
But yeah, so thank you, Matt, for supporting the show. That is super awesome. As for games to travel with, the one that immediately jumps into my mind that would work, I think, fairly well with traveling, you'd have to alter it just a little bit, but I think you could actually play Dark Overlord. If you had the driver be the overlord, so everybody else is telling their story and playing their cards, and they'd have to check each other to make sure they're playing the cards right. You know, the overlord's got to focus on driving. But he could, be like, nope, your story's bullshit, withering look.
As he takes his eyes off the road. Yeah. We're careening into a ravine.
Worth it.
That's one that immediately jumps to my mind.
It's a good one.
And I totally meant to get a hold of Aaron up from Boards Alive podcast, because I know they did an episode I listened to a little while back where they talked about some really good diceless RPGs that you can kind of do, like, that are good, because they were talking about driving to a con from, their cold, remote part of Canada to an actual big city for a con, and they were talking about the games they played on the way to the con. So, Matt, I will get a hold of Aaron and find out some games that they had recommended. And if we think of any more, or if you guys have any other ones that you can think of, that'd be great for playing car.
Depends on your interaction level.
Yeah,
I mean,
it depends really on whether you want to include the driver or not. If you want to exclude the driver, then there's a lot of shit you can play.
yeah.
Hanabi would work well.
Star Realms.
Yeah.
Hanabi would be fantastic.
Star Realms,
For
you'd want to
3D.
do like a tablet.
Yeah, you would
and
definitely
pass
do.
and play
yeah,
the app.
It would definitely be app based, but someone probably has an app.
Then there's a lot
tablet.
of
Yeah.
app-based games you could do.
That's definitely what we've done on our long road trips to Gen Con.
Yeah.
Hearthstone,
Yes.
if you have cell signal and a phone. Depends on what the size group you want. But travel-wise, I pretty much survived off of Star Realms and Hearthstone.
Yeah. You could probably do something like a lot of social deduction games. Like you could probably some would be tricky.
Only because the amount of people wise for social deduction.
Yeah, because he says 3 to 4 players, and Resistance barely plays well at 4.
It plays 5 or
Yeah.
more.
Oh, it doesn't go to
Yeah,
4?
it doesn't even go to 4.
Yeah, that kind of cuts that out. I was thinking about our shenanigans in the van to Gen Con last year, which we didn't really play any games, though. We
You
just
slept a
mostly-
lot.
I did sleep a lot, and you guys took a lot of pictures of me sleeping.
I mean, it was mainly me taking the pictures, but yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
coming soon. Pictures of Adrian sleeping.
I said, if it happens, it'll be on the way back from
Yeah.
Gen Con. It's increasingly looking like I'm not driving
Oh, that's
to
true.
Gen Con, unfortunately. Which means I'm going to miss out on Boulevard and Great Casey Barbecue and maybe Southern. I don't know if you guys will be
I thought we
able
were
to-
doing Southern on the way back.
But definitely doing it on the way back.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you could
easier
easily
to get to
maybe do it on
St.
both
Louis.
ways,
Yeah, we'll see.
depending on time frames.
Indeed.
But yeah, so there you go, Matt. Thanks for the email.
And if you would like to send us emails, I may remind you again. Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Correct. Zach, we had some follow-up BGG stuff.
Yes, we did for the Star Realms versus Hero Realms.
Yes, last week's review episode.
Yep. So Mike says, I think the app for Star Realms has helped. I've never played it aside from the app. I thought about picking it up both. I haven't picked up Star Realms because I cannot see a time when I would rather pull it out. So many other 2-player games I'd rather play. I looked at Hero Realms, but the game I would want to play with all the character packs was way more expensive than I'd want to pay for the game that it is. And I can agree with that.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And
An extra $25.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depends on
5.
where you get it. Because I actually went there earlier, and our friend Wes, when I played his copy, he didn't have the character packs, and I was like, "Hey, I'm over here. Do you want me to get any character packs for it?" And he was like, "How much are they?" And I'm like, "They're about $5 each, so they have all but one of them, so it'd be $20." And he's like, "Oh, I thought they'd be all in like one pack and like for $10." So
Look, they're nice little booster things.
yes, like on cool stuff, it was like $3.50, and then if you have a discount, it
Yeah.
works well. But yeah, I can totally understand if you're like, oh, that's not worth $40 for a game. So,
But they do add a lot.
oh yeah, playing without them, I was definitely like, I miss these. So yeah. So next we have Christopher. He goes, +1 on the app. I've never played a physical copy, and I think I'm spoiled by the app since I don't have to shuffle, and it makes sure I don't miss the correct order to use special powers.
yeah.
I realize it's sacrilege, but are there other apps that keep you from playing physical copies because they take care of the busy work so well? Ascension, 100-fold.
For me, also Ticket to Ride, Base Pandemic, not Race for the Galaxy. I really like the Race for the Galaxy app. It's a fantastic app. If you like Race for the Galaxy, I can't recommend that app enough. But I also still really enjoy 2-player race with like another person more than against like an AI. And I don't quite get the same interaction I feel playing against another person, even on the app. Even if you're playing with a real person on the app, it's not quite the same.
Onirim as well for me. I think really anything that has a lot of shuffling.
Yeah, deck builders are great as apps.
Yeah, they really are.
Work super well.
And it cuts down the amount of time you actually have to play a game by a lot.
It does math for you.
Yes, it does. It's great.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, play.
I don't know.
Oh, it's 30? Okay, sweet.
To be fair, I wouldn't call it math. I would call
Yeah.
it counting.
Yes. I mean,
Does a lot of the
counting's a form
counting
of math.
for you.
Another one that's really good is Xenoshift from Simon. My brother, he turned me on to that. He found it, which I don't know how he did. Like, my brother likes board games, but he's not like into board games.
Right.
And he came across it just like, he sends me random apps all the time. Where he's like, oh, you need to play this app. You need to play this one. And some of them I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't really play like those kind of free to play, like the eggs game you guys play. Like, I
You
don't
talk
play-
shit about eggs, Inc.
Yeah.
I don't play those
Fucking
kind of
kick
like
your ass.
free to play smash on your phone repeatedly games. You know, and so sent me some of those, and so like I'm like, yeah, it looks cool. But like he sent me Xenoshift a while back, and I was like, oh wait, holy shit, I know that game. Like, yeah, like that's a pretty solid game from Cool Mini. And that app does a really fantastic job. And it's another one that really does a good job of handling all of the tedious work of like a deck builder, especially like this one's kind of a tower defense style deck builder. And so it handles that really well. But yeah, there's a bunch of apps that do good stuff.
Yeah.
I've not taken a look at that. Maybe I will.
Yeah, I like the XenoShift app.
Okay, cool. And finally, we have Patrick asking the real questions, the real important ones. How do these compare to Indonesia? And is better, obviously.
Star Realms, Hero Realms v. Indonesia?
Hero Realms, Star Realms, Indonesia. I think that's
I think that's...
Yeah. So that's what our
can't-
podcast thinks.
You
That's what our
can't even remotely pretend that those are actually comparable.
Well,
That wasn't the question.
I can compare anything that I want with anything else.
I mean, a fan asked a question.
Yes.
We just needed to answer.
Yeah, and we did. So per our podcast, it is Hero Realms, Star Realms.
What's better, bread or water, Zach?
I would probably say water and then bread.
Yeah, water bread.
Yeah.
Definitely that order.
I hate you guys. And you're also wrong because it's clearly Indonesia. Second best game ever made.
I believe our podcast has decided
Yeah.
Hero Realms.
The official...
The official word of the podcast is Hero Realms, Star Realms, Indonesia.
no.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to exercise full-on veto on
I don't
that.
No.
think that's how it works.
Should we vote on whether or not he gets a veto? No.
No.
No, you guys just didn't read the contract thoroughly enough. I knew you'd team up
I
against
didn't
me.
sign
nothing.
gave
Yeah, I
gave
signed
myself
nothing.
veto powers.
No.
It's in the bylaws.
There are no bylaws. Just talking out of your ass.
As is tradition.
Yep.
Correct. All right. So,
It's good.
hate you guys. Yeah, that wraps up episode 56.
Indeed.
And fans who were concerned that our episodes would slowly just both expand to approximately 2 hours.
We've just spun out the review to make this part bigger.
starting to be proven right, I see.
We only know excess.
We do not know restraint, not even remotely.
Yep.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning into this week's episode. Be sure to tune in on Friday for our review of Indonesia, which I know Zach is incredibly looking forward to.
I can see the life in his eyes.
Yes. Next week, we will be reviewing Eldritch Horror. I always want to say Arkham Horror, but that's the smaller, older one.
It's much smaller.
Yeah,
It
it's
takes
a
up
lot
far less table
I mean,
space.
smaller in scope. It takes place in the town of
Yes.
Arkham.
Yes.
Yes.
it takes
Whereas
place in-
Eldritch is the world.
Yes. Scope-wise, much smaller.
Scope-wise. But yes, we will be reviewing Eldritch Horror next week, so tune in for that. Be sure to check out our BGG guild number 2731, where Zach will throw up a thread for that review where you can give us questions, comments, concerns regarding it.
Previous or post-ed
Yes.
episode.
Correct. Which there's currently a thread up on BGG for the Indonesia review, which at this point you'd be giving us post-episode feedback because
Yes.
of
There's
review.
no question about that.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a thread up for the Indonesia episode that'll be coming out on Friday. So after you listen on Friday, jump over there and give us your thoughts on that episode. You can always get a hold of us through Twitter. I tweet at MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I'm Jeff_MHGG.
We have Facebook and Instagram /Mile High Game Guys. We have an email address. Jeff, you haven't said it in a little while.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Yeah, so plenty of ways to get in touch with us.
We've got a Slack channel.
We do. There's a link in the show notes, which you can find at our website, milehighgameguys.com.
If you want some interesting conversation around Indonesia pre-review, feel free to tune in there and see why maybe Spotter might get a pass on some things they do.
Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, because there's good conversation on there.
Correct. We also currently have a Patreon page for Mile High Game Guys, where you can be a patron for as little as $1 a month.
Yeah.
We passed our first goal quite handily, which we are super appreciative of. Thank you for
Yes,
the
we are.
14 current supporters.
Super close to our second.
We are within just a few dollars. One more $5 pledge would put us over our second goal.
But if you pledge and you just do $1, we'll make fun of you for not doing more. So,
yes, we'll still be appreciative,
Yes.
but we will mock you.
Yep.
We owe that to Eric. Since we mocked him, we have to mock all other $1 pledges.
We do now, apparently.
Yes.
Eric's a good guy. He invited us to Punchboard Media, which is a fantastic group of content creators, podcasts, written, video, all of the above. that we're proud to be a part of.
Absolutely.
You can check out all those other people over there and us at punchboardmedia.com, where you can search for things like, you can just search for a game and see everybody who's covered that game since Punchboard Media has been founded.
We all fancy with a website.
Yeah.
Not us, but them.
Yeah, the Punchboard Media website is much better than our website.
Yeah.
For now.
Uh-huh. We have friends that know computer things.
Yes. But yeah, so all kinds of ways to get in touch with us, follow what we're doing, follow what people we are working with are doing, and just generally be awesome and be a part of the board game community. Enough of all that, though. I think we're done here.
Yes.
As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I am Arbalist Jeff.
The hell is an arbalist?
That's a person that shoots crossbows.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes. That was...
Like a little schoolgirl.
And saying that made Zach giggle, which, yeah.
Like a hyena.
The deepest of laughs.
Yes.
Like Garbage the Hutt.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, next up in
We got
news.
some deep insider cuts going on these
do.
jokes that no one's going to get.
Well, patrons on our
They
Patreon
won't get
will.
Garbage the Hutt, though.
Did I post it on the Patreon?
No.
it wasn't.
And I don't think you talked about Garbage the Hutt in the pre-show chat that we'll be shooting over to our patrons.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs, but made of garbage. That's who I am.
Yes, he is.
Because he's a Blood Bowl cheater.
Pumpkin.
You would know that if he'd done a Bloody Minute, but
Yeah.
he's also being lame there.
That's why we cut all this.
Punchboard Media, where we all
Bring something
to the table
pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.